Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT. I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, words my Brentford in Denver, Colorado. Shout out to Denver, Colorado. Just a random city. We're going to shout them out anyway. Anyway, wanted to talk about the big boys, the heavyweight division, because this past weekend you had on the, what card was it? David Haye 20 Bellew. On the undercard, you had heavyweight Joyce, former Olympic silver medalist Joe Joyce, in his fourth professional fight, taking on Lenroy Thomas, solid journeyman type of fighter. Dominated Lenroy Thomas. I believe he stopped him in the second or third round. And, look pretty good, man. Joe Joyce doesn't always look the most aesthetically pleasing, but when he warmed up, when he started walking this guy down, he started getting some leverage on those shots, and he started touching Lenroy Thomas with some thump in them gloves. He really... you saw the effects. You could really see and hear the effects he was having on Lenroy Thomas. So that being said, Joe Joyce, he ain't wasting no time, man. He said, I'm 32 years old. I got a silver medal, but I'm in the pro ranks now, and I'm not trying to waste any time. So he said, look, I want to fight Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Okay. Now Joe Joyce took to social media, and he called out the Brooklyn native and the Brooklyn heavyweight Jarrell Miller. He said the following, stating, I quote, "Yo, Jarrell Miller, I know you're being avoided, so am I. I'll come to your backyard in Brooklyn. I am just a 4-0 novice. Big juggernaut versus big baby. Let's dance," stated Joe Joyce, end quote. Miller then responded by saying, I quote, "I can see David Haye is teaching you well, trying to get big fights without actually earning them. You look like a brown-skinned lurch from the Addams family. Get 10 fights first. You not know Vasily Lomachenko. You're just another English muffin," end quote. So, interesting response there by Jarrell Miller. I'll say it like this, man. Is this a fight that BT, Brendan Taylor, True School Sports would like to see? I wouldn't mind it. I think it'd be a good fight if Miller can't get a Joshua fight, if Miller can't get a Wilder fight or a Parker fight or something like that. If you can't get those fights, then yes, I would entertain this fight. But is it a fight that necessarily needs to happen right now? Absolutely not, because let's be clear. Joe Joyce, as much as I like his performance, is not... he hasn't earned the right to fight. As crazy as it sounds, Jarrell Miller is actually in the right in this case. Because for whether you like Jarrell or you don't like Jarrell, the fact of the matter is Jarrell, his last couple fights, and you can say, well, these guys ain't nobodies, but the guys he's been fighting these last couple fights are better than anything Joe Joyce has fought. Fighting the likes of Gerald Washington, fighting the likes of Marius Wack, Johan Duapa, Fred Cassie, guys like that. It's not the creme de la creme, but still top-level guys. Top 25 guys, contenders, and he's earned the right to at least, for at least his next fight, whether it be against Joshua, Wilder, Parker, make that big step up. And Joe Joyce, no disrespect, it's not a step up, and I'm actually siding with Jarrell on this. Now, what I will say is this. While I am siding with Jarrell, let me also say this. If you can't get a fight with Joshua, Wilder, Parker, Dillian White. I mean, I'm talking about it has to be about 5, 6, 7 fighters that you can't get fights with for whatever the case may be, whether they're ducking him, whether they're going to go fight someone else, whatever the case may be. If you can't get that fight, then this is a fight that I think you should take, because whether you fought Duapa, Gerald Washington, guys like that, Joe Joyce, I think, would represent a really big challenge for Jarrell Miller, a guy that, just like Jarrell, in many ways kind of like Jarrell, strong, sturdy, good work rate, high punch output, maybe a higher punch output than Jarrell. We don't know. But unlike Jarrell, with his high punch output, he has a little bit. He has more thump in those gloves. At least from what I've seen, he has more thump in those gloves. He seems to have a bit more pop in his shots than Jarrell does. So that fight would be very interesting, and it's a fight that if for whatever reason it did happen next or within the next if it happened next, I think if Jarrell were able to win and win big and look good, then it would answer a lot of questions that I have about him, because, no disrespect to his last couple of opponents, but Marius Wack, Johan Duapa, and Gerald Washington, they don't quite have the thump in their gloves, the power in their gloves, in those shots like Joe Joyce does. They don't have the work rate that Joe Joyce does, and none of them have the amateur experience Joe Joyce does. So he has some fundamentals to back up those the power and the work rate and things like that. So it's a fight that I know Jarrell is not going to want to entertain right now, because Jarrell, he's looking for the money, and the money is Joshua fight. The money is the Wilder fight. The money's even a Dillian White fight. Okay, it's not in a Joe Joyce fight right now. It's not. And I know Jarrell. I know for a fact Jarrell thinks this way because I remember the last time I saw Jarrell was in April. Let's say April when I went to the this one fight card here in South Florida. He actually showed up to the local fight card, and then Ivan Ditchko, who was also a fellow heavyweight, another heavyweight prospect coming up, Olympian, silver medalist. I asked Jarrell. I said, "Are you here to scout the competition? Are you here to fight Ivan Ditchko?" And he's like, "Nah, there's no money in fighting Ivan Ditchko." He on camera he said, "No, there's no money in fighting Ivan Ditchko." So he's looking for the money, and rightfully so, man. He's been someone that has had to gradually take some steps up as a fighter. He's had to answer a lot of questions as a fighter, and he shouldn't have to put himself in a position to where he can lose a fight against Joe Joyce. Is that wrong? No, because he has to wait his turn. So for guys below him who are not at the level he's at, he can make them wait their turn. Joe Joyce, though, I think once he gets about somewhere around 7 or 8 fights in, this is a fight that Jarrell really needs to consider. I think he really needs to consider taking it because it'd be a hell of a fight. Hell of a fight. So that's my take on it. You guys let me know yours. Joe Joyce, Jarrell BB Miller. Joyce calls out Miller. Miller brushes it aside. What do you think? What do you guys, my subscribers, think about this fight and just overall how it'll play out, how they match up, who do you favor, all that good stuff. Leave your comments down below. Take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every video, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. That's Daniel in South Florida if you didn't know. So if you didn't know, get your damn geography up. Until next time, take care, guys.